get it home.
Off-season behind us. Time to close out the first full Saturday of college football from the Rose Bowl with the Utes and the Bruins. And a touchback gets us started. So Devin Dampier paired with his offensive coordinator from New Mexico, Jason Beck, where they put up eye-popping numbers last year. Dampier threw for almost 3,000, ran for over 1,000, and that put him in elite company.
Yeah, we'll get into that company later. The only thing he did poorly there was take care of the football. 12 picks, put it on the floor too many times, certainly for Kyle Whittingham and company's liking, but just do your job. Take care of the rock. This guy is special.
And now the question becomes, can he take what he did in the Mountain West and high-level college football? He pitches it out to the edge, and a first down out to Smith Snowden, who is playing two ways this year and tonight for Utah behind a really good offensive line.
They said they might do it, and Smith Snowden on cue. Spencer Fano, the #1 rated offensive tackle in America, leads probably the best unit up front in America. Ryan Davis, #9 there, will feature the other part of that New Mexico triumvirate on offense.
Now the first run is straight up the middle, and that moves the chains with Wayshawn Parker. So a guy that played defense last year for Utah with the first down, and their new running back from Washington State, Wayshawn Parker, with the second first down.
Yeah, Devin Dampier, Wayshawn Parker played against each other last year, and that man, Jason Beck, the new offensive coordinator, said, hey, let's bring him, let's bring Mark Atuaya, the running back coach, with him. So far, so good on this first drive.
One of the best total offenses in college football last year at New Mexico. They were second in the country in rushing, fourth in total offense, and they see a new UCLA defense. It's basically an entire new 11 that we see out there for the Bruins.
It really is. Roderick Pleasant on the back end could just flat go. Gary Smith III should be the space eater inside. John Vons, replacing one of probably the best linebacker in a long time here at UCLA in Swessinger.
Carson Swessinger, a second-round draft pick of the NFL. Got our first flag of the night.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense number 88. 5-yard penalty, remains second down.
Mike McCabe in the white hat tonight.
Dallin Bentley, that gets that early call, the uncharacteristic Utah mistake. He's going to be kind of a Swiss Army knife, and they're very excited about J.J. Buchanan, also a tight end.
Motion Parker out the backfield. Tight window throw is in there, complete. So a little bit of redemption for Bentley after the penalty. Makes this third down and medium.
Yes, that sets up a more manageable situation to play the play here with Devin Dampier from his angle. It's good location on that ball on that inside armpit to let it turn up.
First third down of the night. Pull to the right, throw to the left. And Utah converts out to the edge again with their two-way player, Smith Snowden, with another first down. See him at corner tonight. We're seeing him active on this first drive.
You get it. You get it why they want to get the ball in his hands. They're going to pump fake the hit screen that they got going earlier, leaking him out the backside in space. Smith Snowden, will see him as a returner, as a DB, doing it all.
He got 11 on that play, and this is where Dampier is excellent on the run to his right. And UCLA gets him after 9 yards, close to another first down for Utah.
And you can see he's been coached up very well by this offensive staff. Certainly Jason Beck and Kyle Whittingham. Get down, protect yourself, don't take that extra hit. Stay healthy, play the long game for this Utah offense.
Utah fans are like, yep,
yes, exactly.
Please do that after 4 different starting quarterbacks last year.
Pump and go.
Not there. Dampier to his left, to the end zone, off the hands, and incomplete. Ryan Davis, who he worked with at New Mexico, in coverage with Roderick Pleasant, breaking it up.
Yeah, he just missed a chance at a home run. You'll see it to the boundary. If we get a chance right up the seam to Dallin Bentley, and then that's a good safe spot throw over the top of Pleasant in coverage. He's their best guy, their best cover guy, their fastest DB, and you see why right there.
Track star back there. 10-1 in the 100. Big fellas in there on 3rd and short, and Utah moving that pile ahead behind that experienced experienced and physical offensive line. They got Keith Olson in there blocking for the first down.
A massive push from behind there. A little modified tush push, brotherly shove, dive play. Watch the line of scrimmage come towards you. Just great push on short yardage. Plenty to spare.
Well, they keep the heavy personnel in there after using the extra offensive linemen with Olson to punch it ahead on third down. Now inside the red zone for the first time for Utah. And Akari Rogers with the first down carry of 3.
Jason Beck, offensive coordinator, looked at it. I said, man, Wayshawn Parker's first. But man, Akari Rogers is really good. And they just have that confidence, the chemistry between Devin Dampier and Akari Rogers, having the RPO game ingrained from their experience in New Mexico.
This will be the 10th play of the drive coming up. This has been a smooth operation for Utah. Their first drive down the field with this new offense.
Try to spread this UCLA defense out. You got to play assignment football against a guy like Dampier, and space is his friend.
Nate Johnson in there in motion, and Dampier keeps and drives ahead to the 13. So here comes the second third down of the drive after they convert it.
They did a really nice job setting the edge there and forcing him back inside.
Utah did not put the ball in the end zone much on their side of the offense, very much on the opening drive last year. UCLA did give up a lot of opening scores. Utah's defense excellent, as those numbers showed you in starting games fast.
Zero blitz.
And out to the edge, it opens up, and a first drive score for Utah. Wayshawn Parker welcomes himself to the Utes with a 13-yard score.
Watch this pressure. You're going to see the edge be set on this right side by Spencer Fano. Defensive coordinator Kaka Malloy takes a big risk there, bringing a zero pressure, and there's nobody setting the edge. Wayshawn Parker's not down and touch football.
Untouched, and that is no good. So Parker puts it in for 6. There's a flag down.
The Rose Bowl, here's what happened to allow Wayshawn Parker to have a smooth sailing A gap, B gap, C gap. There's no C gap defender. Somebody here is misaligned or just doesn't execute the assignment. And Wayshawn says, that's not my problem. I'll bounce this to the house. 6-0.
3 for 3 on third downs on that opening drive that went 11 plays off of the touchback, 75 yards. And Utah fans smiling after the first Jason Beck and Devin Dampier team up in this new offense after an offseason of change. About 50% of the roster is new at Utah, including their quarterback and their offensive coordinator. They did miss the extra point, so 6-zip instead of 7-zip. Roderick Pleasant back deep to touch it for the first time for UCLA. And here he comes from his own 5. He bounces to the edge, and he's twisted down, not around the 23. So Nico Iamaleava. Newsworthy offseason for the highly paid, highly talented quarterback. Contract dispute at Tennessee. Controversially left the team in the spring. Transfers to UCLA close to home. They have stood by his character. All of that, whatever you think about him, now he finally gets to talk.
Everybody in this program loves this guy. Iamaleava was that guy. 5-star recruited by everybody, went to Tennessee, and now he's back home. And he feels refreshed. I don't know if Knoxville was the ideal weight on his shoulder for this type of kid. And we'll see.
He throws on his first play from scrimmage, and it's batted down, incomplete. Logan Fano, the best pass rusher for Utah, with immediate pressure on Iamaleava.
Offensive coordinator Tino Sunseri dials up just a little, trying to get to an easy little slant route play action pass. Not an RPO. That's a predetermined play. And Logan Fano says, hey, don't forget about me. I know everybody talks about Spencer, but I'm pretty good too.
Going up against that Utah offensive line, he has turned into a terrific pass rusher the last couple of years at Utah. Almost batted down again this time. Iamaleava buzzes it past in there on the slant. It's a first down to Mikey Matthews, the former Utah Ute, with the first down.
perfect first completion. Tried to hit the slant on the first one. Here it is on the second one. Motions to that stacked position to get a free release. Gets the help from Mokiao Ati-Malala on the clear out, and that's a feel-good confidence builder for Nico.
2 years ago in this game, Matthews was wearing Utah red as Utah won that game 14-7. Tonight, the first down for UCLA. And Jalen Berger is snowed under by Lander Barton, last year's leading tackler for Utah.
They're going to force Nico to pull the ball and be a ball carrier. Jalen Berger, they want to get going, but they have zero hesitation to bring in Anthony Woods and Javian Jet Thomas. A three-headed monster that Deshaun Foster perked up when we were talking about it.
UCLA did not run the ball well last year. They think they'll be much better. He's uncovered. Overshoots him. Matthews had a clear path for 6. And Iamaliava overjuiced him.
Yeah, just a nice, great design by Tino Sunseri. They cut him loose. Watch him, you see. Not sure who is responsible for that. Nate Ritchie, 6. His eye in the play action pass. And that's when Nico wants back. And man, that would have been a dream start really for both teams. Get your star quarterback going as it is 3rd and 10.
Here comes the heat. Iamaliava protected. Out to the edge, and Hudson Habermill can't get there. Dragged down just shy of the sticks. It is a 4th down on Nate Ritchie's excellent open field tackle.
Morgan Scally, defense corner, says, hey, I saw your zero blitz. I like that. My tackle in space just a little bit better than Habermill's ability to get to the sticks, and they're going to go for it.
UCLA very conservative on 4th downs last year. They only went 16 times all year. And how about this? Confidence in his offense. Deshaun Foster on a 4th and 1, first drive of the year. Big body's loaded up. Iamaliava gives, and that's enough for the first down with Jalen Berger, their big 215-pound back.
That's a big positive step. Hard ball run, hand off, no read situation. That's Nico just handed it off, trust in his front. Not as much, as a push as that Utah offensive run got going the other way, but that is a big-time conversion. And again, every one of these first downs is just a little bit more confidence on this Bruin sideline.
Early sign of belief for Deshaun Foster.
Yep.
That was not lip service. How much more highly he thinks of this offense than last year. And back to the ground game.
Yeah, he likes the scheme, and when we asked him about the balance, and they tried to just be really 3 yards in a clip through the air last year, and that's just not his strength. Tino Sunseri there, the offensive coordinator. First of all, elite hair, and thus far, elite dialage here on this first drive.
It is elite.
Oh, so jealous. Look at that.
He was the quarterback's coach at Indiana last year. Beat the Bruins here at the Rose Bowl, and that was the start of planting a seed of him coming to UCLA. Sean Foster liked what he saw from Sunseri that night. Iamaliava over the top, incomplete. Titus Mokiao Ati-Malala couldn't stretch up and get it. It's 3rd down again.
Just a 4-man rush. Utah has a floater. An in-breaking cut there was the winner. Utah just has to execute, and that's that miss on. Sometimes those guys are just wide open, like the one he had a near home run to Mikey Matthews. That one right there, if he hits him in stride, he runs out of it. Just got to execute.
Adrenaline, first game?
Probably that right there is just mechanics, kind of
just a miss.
Stiff.
0 for 1 on 3rd down of this opening drive. Protected again on a 3rd down, and underneath he goes. That is shy of the sticks. Usually that route carries you to the marker, but Matthews was 2 yards short.
Yeah, good execution again. That's the much tougher throw. Just in a better position there to finish. Now we'll see if they got dialed up on 4th and 2. Utah has challenged them in man coverage. They're going to make Nico beat him throwing it or pulling it and trying to stop this run game, outnumber him, and make the quarterback pull the ball.
They went for it on 4th down, 10 yards prior to this. And out of shotgun on 4th and 1 here. It's broken up, incomplete. He buzzed it out to the flat, and Blake Cotton smothered Mikey Matthews to get the ball back to Utah. So UCLA drives, picking up 1 4th down, but not the next. And this top 25 scoring defense for Utah the last 2 years, led by Morgan Scalley, gets the ball back to Devin Dampier in the Utah offense. Resigned middle of last season, Jason Beck comes in, and those numbers that were near the bottom of the Big 12 in offense last year should change. And that was a real sign of optimism that first drive in what should be a year of change on offense.
Yeah, the offensive line looks as advertised, and you understand why that man is so excited. He brought up the names Cam Rising, Alex Smith, Brian Johnson. We're comparing Devin Dampier not only athletically, but his leadership style, his leadership skills, and analytically see that play action.
Accurate to one of the new guys they've got involved on offense, Jackson Benny, Utah kid, who will also play some safety. So Smith, Snowden, and Jackson Benny, offense impact.
Yeah, getting a little love here early. A couple of defensive players. This will be very popular in the team meeting room in film. When you get the ball out to a couple of DBs, they'll be talking about this for a long time. Secure that ball high and tight.
Great finds from Olympus for Utah. Walk on. And a tremendous athlete in Jackson Benny that starts this drive. Makari Rogers and Wayshawn Parker both with strong carries the opening 2 touches.
A 4-yard rip on the drive star there. It's a 6-yard push. You can do that. When you can run the football, you can do anything.
A big test in this game for UCLA's defense. How do they handle the physicality of this big front? It likely sends 2 tackles to the NFL after this year.
He did not cross the neutral zone, so
Dampier crossing him up. And a first down as he slides to the 25. John Vaughns was spun around, and Dampier showing his quick feet again.
Get a little flavor for Dampier right here. It's a 4-man rush. Kind of collapse it and flush him out. John Vaughns, air ball. And then good job again. Smart football right there. Protect yourself. Live to fight another day.
It's 2 scrambles. We've seen him get down right in front of danger. Dampier has him on the edge of the red zone again. Smith Snowden, 3rd catch already. And a nice open field tackle from Cole Martin, who's back in Pasadena after spending part of his childhood here.
You get an idea of the plan coming together for offensive coordinator Jason Beck and Kyle Winningham. Space. Get the ball on the edges. Hammer. Play action. Winning formula. And then, oh, by the way, a great trigger man in space.
Averaging almost 7 yards a rush early in this game. That looked like it was going nowhere, and Dampier dances his way for 2. And it'll be 3rd down and 4 after a 3-for-3 start on 3rd down.
Yeah, he just had Siale Taupaki there in a bad situation. One-on-one, Dampier's athleticism with 6'4", 350 in the hole is not a great matchup for the Bruins.
Casual line dance that they just did. Off the motion, they give it. Snowden active early, lunges ahead, needs the 25, and he got it. First down. And it's a 4-of-4 start for Utah on 3rd down.
Really good feel right here for Snowden. You see his versatility. Carrying the ball here, getting north right there. Just get that little extra push to ensure the first down.
Jason Beck called Smith Snowden a bonus player for him because of all he's responsible for playing man coverage on Utah's defense. 3 catches, 1 on the ground, and prominently featured. And Dampier taken off, and UCLA rallies to him. Jalen Woods pops him with another 5-yard gain for Devin Dampier. 2nd down and 5.
This time it's Jacob Gusick who gets shook. Watch 97 here in space. Quarterback draw, design quarterback draw. That again is a mismatch, but at least he turned back inside again to his boys.
There's a Wayshawn Parker 13-yard touchdown run for Utah before missing the extra point on a 75-yard drive first time. Back to the red zone again on a 2nd down. Dampier, nobody home. He's dancing again. He's got space out to the right. Now it closes, and he squirms ahead. Jalen Woods had him for a loss, and that ends up in the green with a 2-yard gain.
That was the most exciting 2-yard gain. Had a chance maybe to break contain there and make it happen. They call him J9. Watch Jalen Woods track him down. This is a physical dude. Dampier's not afraid to truck it. That's what's kind of encouraging for Utah fans here, is protect yourself here. Be smart. Jalen Woods says, I've seen enough. Let's play football.
Can UCLA finally get off the field on a 3rd down? 3 of 3 first drive. 4 of 4 overall for Utah. It's Snowden out the other way, weaving out of a tackle. He's got the first down. He jukes his way for a touchdown. Two-way sensation. Smith Snowden has arrived for Utah with a touchdown.
You say Key Lawrence here is the edge setter. Sees the jet sweep designed here with the lead blocker. Has a chance to get him on the ground. But again, a good job, good feel, high and tight. That's what we worry about so much. He's a returner. Smith Stone's a returner, so he's used to carrying the football, but you're worried about those DBs sometimes getting a little loose.
Well, the Heisman Trophy winner last year came out of the Big 12, and Travis Hunter in Colorado. Now everybody wants to push. Everybody's going to their coach and saying, I want to do what Travis did. Smith Snowden making a case. 5 touches early plus a touchdown.
Congratulations.
A ton of momentum, a ton of it for next year, and he told us straight up, man, this is my team.
He got the job late in the offseason last year. Now a first true full cycle as the head coach for UCLA. Nothing there for Iamaleava. Back to the line of scrimmage. Bring up 2nd down.
Good job by Nico there, being patient. Don't press. I know you'd have two touchdowns. You're just, again, you're the savior. All the pressure that goes with that. We saw some of those games today. Just execute. Just go out and execute one play at a time.
A fascinating day around college football with all the new quarterbacks in new places. Saw that with Big Noon with Julian Sain against Arch Manning. Out to the edge and going nowhere. Logan Fano shows up again, this time in the run game, to make it a 3rd down and long.
Basically the same play that Utah ran for a touchdown. Watch Fano here set the edge. They're going to bring pressure inside. He's going to set the edge and wins the wrestling match, which, can you imagine the wrestling matches in the Fano household growing up? What was that like?
I'm going to guess the pins are equal between those two guys, or you got, what do you think? I think Spencer's got the one.
I'm going Spencer.
Right tackle for Utah has the one up.
But Logan's not giving up.
Logan is in there again. Back-to-back plays for Logan Fano. You want to rethink that?
Just enough.
1 in plus territory their first time. And Utah has been perfect on 3rd downs and perfect to get to the end zone the 2 times they've touched it. Catch called for, and was there a push there? No flag. So point on the push into the returner, and time for Glover and Utah to take over at midfield.
If that's what the officials say, that's what happened. Might have been pushed there from the side, and he's definitely trying to avoid him right there at the end. No harm, no foul. Play on.
All right, what have you thought? 2 drives in, Devin Dampier leading this offense.
As advertised, and the bigger part of that has been advertised is this offensive line. Just kind of having their way with this front, and you get it when you see these guys in person.
UCLA showed a little edge pressure. Dampier escapes the other way through the contact. He burrows his way ahead for 8 yards on 1st down.
And you got to get this guy on the ground. They're coming from all different directions there. That time it was Isaiah Chisholm finally getting to the story. Safety missed. 2nd and 2. That's the difference right now. Jason Beck, the offensive coordinator in Utah, are operating on 2nd and 2.
Everything has been short yardage and conversion downs for Utah. All day for Dampier. He's pointing. He's got nowhere to go, but out the back door and safely for a first down and out of bounds.
So just a free play right there. Jason Beck took a shot. Tried to get a couple different tight ends on action. Chisholm was in coverage there on Dallin Bentley. You see him way back there covering the tight end in the end zone. Great coverage, safely out of bounds, but a first down.
And back to the ground where Utah has chewed up a bunch of yards already. Already over 100 yards on the night, but the ball comes out. And Utah had two linemen there. And it's recovered by Michael Mokofisi. And Utah has to breathe a sigh of relief.
That's why you finish to and through the ball. If you're an offensive lineman, you see Wayshawn Parker getting north. Jackson gets in and just rips it out. Great job that time by 28 Jackson. Mokofisi, Johnny on the spot.
So after all that, it ends up being short yardage again. Burst in the run game with Nakari Rogers for a first down. Over 100 yards on the night before halftime and only 2 minutes into the second quarter on the ground.
Nakari Rogers so happy they could bring him with him. Watch his cutback vision. Pressing the front side. Sees that green grass to the right and setting up another red zone scoring opportunity here for Utah.
Utah doing this against a good run defense the last couple of years. Open, touchdown, Dampier flies it in there to Lander Barton. All the defensive guys involved. Snowden and Barton both with touchdowns.
You said before, if you can run the ball, you can do anything. Here he's just going to sneak out that front side. A hard sell in the backfield. Jameer Benjamin just peeking in the backfield. Too little, too late.
A starting linebacker.
Yes, yes!
And a starting corner have touchdowns for Utah.
Defensive coordinator Morgan Scalley has to get some sort of credit, right? He's going to get this in his contract. You're using my guys. Lander Barton looking natural right there.
Mystery coming into week one. Utah, truth serum.
Yes.
They passed the test on the defensive guys that are touching the ball tonight.
And they were great to us. Let's say that offensive coordinator Jason Beck says, hey, this guy might play. This guy might have a role. This guy might. And that has come to pass. The only people that aren't excited, Freddie Whittingham, the tight end coach, he's going to have to get with his, quote unquote, real guys, make amends, get them going here as the season progresses. But man, just an embarrassment of riches of talent from the defensive side and paying off.
Well, they did say that they'll have 5 tight ends that will play consistently throughout the year, including Barton. And this is, Dalton Kincaid came out of here as a first-round pick with Buffalo Bills a few years ago. And Devin Dampier has a ton of, Devin Dampier has a ton of toys to play with and a near-perfect start, including his first touchdown to Barton. So what's Nico Iamaleava got? Down 20 in his first start in his first game at UCLA after that loud and much talked about offseason. And he's on target to Jack Peterson, his tight end. Said, it's fun what Utah was doing. Let me go to mine. First down.
Yeah, and he's just a real tight end. This little stop route down there by Peterson. A little drive starter. You see 28. Arc release. Stop. Present yourself to the big fella. Let's get something positive going. Nice throw and catch.
Well, 3 drives, 3 scores for Utah. 2 drives, no scores for UCLA so far. Positive start as they hope to begin a comeback. And that almost broke for Anthony Woods. Swung down before he could get to the second level by Levani Damuni.
Nice job there. Again, being patient by this offensive staff from UCLA. Good crease by Anthony Woods there. The counter play against Utah. That's a win right there, 6-yard gain.
Damuni's seen a lot of that in his career. He was excellent for them 2 years ago as the leading tackler. He is on a pitch count tonight, coming back from the Achilles injury. Expect about 10 to 12 snaps on defense for Damuni. Got that with Lander Barton teaming up in the spring at linebacker. Woods almost cracked one, and he gets cracked this time.
He said who?
Demooney is making the most of his pitch count. Wow.
Bonnie Demooney. Wow. Square up and finish him. Play it with 3. Stay in square. Seeing that running back, patient, and then strike. Great finish. That is a fundamental finish. That'll make Coach Kyle Winningham very proud. Seeing Lander Barton play tight end, that to me means that man right there is healthy, and he's healthy.
2 productive plays, touchdown saving tackle, and a big thump. And now Iamaleava leans ahead for a first down. Quarterback keeps it, drive survives out around midfield.
He's a physical runner. Iamaleava, don't sell him short. He's a physical guy, not as quick, not the moves that Dampier has necessarily, but as an RPO downfield passer and the ability to do that right there, just be a little physical and finish with that forward lean, as you see Quasi Gilmer.
Quasi Gilmer, one of the guys they're leaning on at wide receiver this year, comes out of the game. He has not been targeted yet, but expected to be a big part of the offense for UCLA. On first down, pocket moving, Iamaleava escapes, stays on his feet. He's out to the edge through another tackle, and using those long strides to get out of trouble, and then some of the first down.
That's exactly what we were just talking about. A physical, vertical runner. Play it with him. Drop back pass. It's going to end up being a 5-man rush as they add 7 Jonathan Hall into the rush, and he runs right through that on tackle. Put the ball away. That's careless. Scary ball leverage. But a first down.
Well, that was closer than it.
That's the kind of thing that could get this team started.
UCLA did not have that element last year as the run game struggled. Ethan Garbers was hit a bunch. And the Utes are in the backfield again, but that turns into Javian Thomas working his way across the line, avoiding a loss through the grasp of multiple defenders, including Barton. So downward movement on offense for UCLA for a second time tonight. They stalled 4th and 1, first time they had it. Trying to make up a big hole. 3 touches, 3 scores for Utah to open up 2025. Sticking with the run game, a bunch on this drive, and Jalen Berger almost broke that, but Barton got him on the shoelaces.
Barton, a touchdown saving finish right there. Berger trying to be the ground and pound version of what is it, Earth, Wind, and Fire?
Fire,
or what,
yeah.
Fire? Yeah.
It's almost September.
Yeah.
2 days away from that being real relevant with the 3 backs they've got. Well, finally some third down and shorts for UCLA on this drive. They have been third down and long most of the night. This a 3rd and 3.
QB drops.
Iamaleava got it on the ground last time and fighting his way. Needed the 20. The mark of that's going to be short, about a half a yard short. So a 4th down.
They're going to be go for it mode for sure here. The time and score. See Nico, if he just bounces that out and doesn't get involved with those big uglies inside. Look like Vimahi, I think, was the first to get him to the ground. 4th and inches.
Yeah, Leaky Vimahi had him by the ankle. Just enough to bring up a 3rd, 4th down of the night. Similar scenario to how the first drive stalled. And right between the guards, that's a first down. And the first trip into the red zone for Jalen Berger and the Bruins.
Nice little design here by Tino Sanseri, the offensive coordinator. They did a little fake clap. We're going to look to the sideline and then still snap it to Nico. Nice little acting skills. Watch him on the back end here. The false clap and then the look to the sideline. Utah doesn't necessarily buy it, but great push by them up front. Any little bit helps.
Now, those are prove-it type scenarios tonight for UCLA. Utah prides itself on being physical. They have all of Kyle Whittingham's time. And they got a push. Drive continues. Iamaleava floats it. And that is a touchdown. Anthony Woods out of the backfield. Scores against his former team.
Sean Foster said we've got the pounder and burger. We've got the speed with jet. And Anthony Woods could just do everything well. And right here, you see it out of the backfield. Great job securing that catch. Great job not reaching the ball and putting it at risk at all. Touchdown Bruins, and the Rose Bowl crowd is alive.
Well, that's what those fans that painted their chest wanted to see.
Yes, go Nico. He went.
For the first time, he goes inside the red zone, extended the drive with his legs, and now his first touchdown pass in the gold and blue here at UCLA. With Miami and Notre Dame. In the Big 12, TCU will open up their season against Bill Belichick on Monday. And this ball is on deck inside the 5. For the last few moments of this game, starting to turn toward UCLA.
We were just talking about that during the break. The fumble that Moko Fisi recovered. This is the kind of thing they have kind of go their way to get back in it. Snowden, the star thus far, just doesn't field it properly, smartly covers it, and doesn't make it worse.
Juju Walls, freshman pass rush specialist, who they're using on kickoff, a guy that they think could start for them at defensive end eventually. So a long field for the first time tonight for Devin Dampier in Utah. And they start with a toss for Nakari Rogers for a couple.
Nakari Rogers just does a great job. They're getting square and then playing it out. You know, obviously how the block is deployed. UCLA, that's a win for them. They've been getting gashed 6-7 yards on those previous runs of that type. They're going fast.
Nate Johnson, former starting quarterback in there. He's just a decoy, and they flip it out to Rogers. And once again, Utah has a 3rd and short. It'll be 1 yard to get on a 3rd down deep in their own territory.
This is really nice execution and design. Devin Dampier into the boundary. He's going to read this edge as he comes out. Just sees him out flank 44 to the boundary. Set up 3rd and short.
So Latoa Moiai in there as an extra blocker. And Dampier running behind him. And he leans his way ahead, backing his way ahead for a 1st down. And it's a 6 of 6 start on 3rd down. And Mark, all of these have been 4 yards or less for Utah.
This is just push. This is the #1 offensive line rank unit in America. You see the push, you see the finish. Spencer Fano burying his guy and starting things off.
The girth of those guys up front get them off their own goal line. Dampier taking a shot. He has it incomplete, but a flag is out. Multiple flags are out. Tobias Merriweather was locked up with Andre Jordan. And this will go against UCLA, obviously.
Yeah, that was just one of those ones of I'm beat. I'm beat. I know I'm biting.
Pass interference. Defense #2. 15-yard penalty. Automatic 1st down.
Merriweather already presenting a tough matchup right there. 6'5" versus 6'1", and 6'1's just trying to compete and let him play.
Those are the scary ones, right?
Yes.
When you get Dampier rolling out to the right.
Yep.
He's got the option to burn you, but also out to the side he prefers throwing. With all options at play for him. 1st down on the ground and a 1st down by penalty on a drive that started at their own 5. Now escaping out the back. And that's another 1st down for Utah. The helmet comes flying off. Roderick Pleasant made the pop. And Dampier with another chain-moving run.
That's one way to get him out of the play. Just a garden variety zone read. Great read. There's a 6-man box. He's reading this man right here. He squeezes it 5 to block the remaining 5, and I'm just going to outrun that defensive end. Now this is where Utah fans are going, hey, run out of bounds. We saw you slide a little bit earlier. We don't want to see that lid off. He also has elite hair.
Valentino Sunseri at the top of your leaderboard. Well, Isaac Wilson, who started games last year, struggled as a true freshman, comes in because Dampier lost his helmet.
First timeout, Utah.
And a timeout. We'll step out for 30. Be right back to the Rose Bowl. We just got a shot of Kyle Whittingham during the break shaking his head. I don't think he wanted to take that timeout to get deep in the half, but he wants number 4 on the field. We know that.
Yes.
But with the timeout, helmet comes off. You can put your quarterback back out there.
Yep, exactly. They had a little wildcat set up there. Something was going on with Hunter Andrews, Isaac Wilson in the slot. Kyle Whittingham said, let's go back to the drawing board and get our guy back out there. 1st and 10. 4:39 and still 2 timeouts.
Utah has been literally unstoppable tonight. On their 4th drive of the night, looking for another score, and that was almost dropped in there. Good coverage from Roderick Pleasant. Good athlete against good athlete. That was speed against speed with Benny.
The key here for Pleasant is just his patience. Great job. He is a fast dude. Watch Dampier's arm strength on the run. Has to get it out. And Pleasant, a little left-handed if you're a Utah fan involved there, but not enough to get a call.
The UCLA fans are saying slow-mo always makes it look worse. Back to the ground after the shot. And this is what Utah has lived in all night. 3rd and 5 or less. They've done it again. About 4.5 to go in the half. Is this 2 to get 4 yards? 2 plays to get 4 yards.
Yeah. I think the confidence they have in their defense across the 50. And unless something negative happens here going backwards, I would surely anticipate that.
The drive started at their own 5 after the Smith-Snowden fumble on the kickoff. And then a few first downs. And now in plus territory on 3rd down. Dampier around the edge, and they rally up to get him. Isaiah Chisholm, the former Oregon State Beaver, in his first game at UCLA, brings up a 4th down.
You can see the excitement every time this guy's on the ground. It is a huge victory. Seeing his film, these guys, you see the run through. There's one miss. Cole Martin was playing linebacker. He's down as like basically a nickel strong safety in the box because he's a safety type athlete trying to get Dampier on the ground. Well designed by Ikaka Malloy, defensive coordinator.
Well, to your theme of the all-hair team on display tonight, all-hair All-Americans. So Ryan Phillips out for the first time, and the Utah punter matching the flow with a good punt. So UCLA will start at their next week on Fox. September 7th, Giants take on reigning offensive rookie of the year, Jaden Daniels, and the Commanders. That game or other regional action on Fox next week. Be good to have the NFL back. And the first full Saturday of college football saw Utah in this final window of the day jump up 20-0. Nico Iamaleava and UCLA answered with a touchdown throw to Anthony Woods. And now before halftime, try to make it back-to-back. While they will also get the ball out of halftime so they can double up. He sets, he fires, and out of the reach of Matthews. So that deep ball connection has missed twice between those two in the first half.
So 5-man pressure. Here's your matchup, the slot fade, the big box fade. Have all that room to work. Nico's just got to give him a chance. Good coverage, good position without fouling by Benny.
He's got the big arm, right? And you can see how he could become a good deep ball thrower, but the accuracy 2 years in, not there yet.
Just got to work chemistry with Mikey Matthews. They probably, they had much tighter window than the chemistry built from the Utah unit via New Mexico.
Timeout UCLA before 3rd and 8.
First charge timeout, UCLA.
Back to the Rose Bowl in 30 seconds.
Hello. Can you play in the NFL? No. But with
Well, first 20 to Utah, next 7 to UCLA. Upcoming 3rd and 8 for the Bruins. If you're Deshaun Foster and Tino Sunseri, how do you crack that man? Morgan Scalley's defense here.
Yeah, you're in Nico's ear right here. Just, hey, man, take care of the rock. Coming off the sideline, all the stuff we talked about earlier, doubling up. Right now it's 3rd and funk for Utah. They can play their games in coverage and mess with you. Take care of the ball.
They rush 4. They twist it up front. It's underneath the Woods, and he powers ahead. Oh, my goodness. Pile drive Teo Johnson.
Great job. That's exactly what I meant by Imaliava. They end up rushing forward. They spin the safeties. They cover the primary. He checks it down, and they convert.
Through pressure, that is broken up incomplete with a flag down. And Teo Johnson back in the play after he was cracked on the run by Woods.
It's going to be a hold on the left side of the UCLA offensive
Holding.
line.
Offense number 77. 10-yard penalty. Replay first down.
New left tackle Cortland Ford, who they got as a transfer out of Kentucky.
Cortland, sorry, that's the first time we've mentioned your name, but this is going to be him over here at left tackle. Utah in go mode. Just a little rip by John Henry Daly and draws the foul.
Ford has played against Utah before. He was at USC before Kentucky. So he knows all about this dynamic pressure that defensive coordinator for Utah, Morgan Scalley, likes to bring. Off the play fake. Imaliava zigzagging through the backfield, through a tackle. Bounces off his own man and back to the original line of scrimmage.
Titus, help me out, man.
So that's our 2-minute timeout in this first half. Man, these quarterbacks are fun to watch. Chew up yards in the run like him. What Anthony Woods just did to Teo Johnson.
Wow. Anthony Woods trucks. Keep those eyes up. Keep those eyes up. No initiating with the crown, but wow, was that a great finish. And Deshaun would absolutely be proud.
And the pocket closes on Imaliava as John Henry Daly gets home for his first sack of the year. And the clock inside 2 minutes. A 3rd and 9 ahead for UCLA.
It's another great effort pass rusher doing your job. You saw Logan Fano do the same thing earlier. Cortland Ford, they might have to help on that side.
Utah known for its pass rushing, have been for years, ever since Morgan Scalley took over. This is a nationally recognized defense for what they just did. Getting home to the quarterback. Twisting up front. Imaliava escapes. He pumps, and he's tripped up. Jackson Benny, who we've seen on offense tonight, made the first down saving tackle, and he stays down with Imaliava short.
Second charge timeout. Utah.
Benny back on his feet. Let's go back to our.
But he backed it up, and right now Kyle Whittingham and company are backing up his confidence in their team this year.
A similar arc to Florida State, right?
Yeah.
Seminoles went 2-10. It was a losing season, which is rare with Kyle Whittingham. Just the 3rd time in 20 years that they had a losing year. A lot of that surrounding would or would not Cam Rising play. But man, do they have a good one by the looks of Devin Dampier in this first half. Their new quarterback will touch it again after this presumed punt from Will Carroll, the UCLA punter. He does get it away. No trickery. And a fair catch. So 70 yards to get for 6. And a little pushing after. As Dampier has been almost perfect. Air, ground, all of it showcased in his first big game at Utah.
One time out here, you're with your offensive coordinator from last year, Jason Beck, coming with him. I think this should be all systems go here. A minute on the clock. UCLA is going to get the ball. Obviously, you're going to take care of it like always, but no reason to be too conservative here if you're Utah.
Utah's freshman kicker Dylan Curtis has a monstrous leg. They say that they can try it if they get to the 40. That shrinks this 2-minute situation as they pop it out to the edge to Bentley on the first play of the drive. But instead of that 25 to 30 yard range, that gives you 10 less yards to deal with this year for Utah in 2 minutes.
Yeah, what did Kyle Whittingham tell us? 70's coming, right? He said altitude, wind in Salt Lake City, 70's coming.
Yeah, meaning 70 yards for his kicker is a possibility at some point this year. Saw the Jacksonville Jaguars do that in preseason. There's a fake pitch out to the edge, and Dampier's got the first down. The 2 plays moving forward inside a minute to go. And Utah is starting to knock on the door of field goal range.
First down, go to old college rules, stop the clock, reset the chains, then wind it. Anthony Jones wrestled him to the ground after the first down.
One timeout in their pocket. Utah to the outside, and that was caught, but out of bounds by Simmons.
Would have counted Montreal. Not so in Pasadena. She probably got a picture of it.
Think so. Hopefully she
Look
has the
at this
autofocus
effort.
on that one.
Yeah. Wow. Oh, heads up. Protect the equipment. Oh. That was a great job. She got in front of it, protected the lens.
Then took it off back in the play. Here's Buchanan. And he's quickly up after an 8-yard gain. And half a minute to go. And Utah right back up in the ball on a third down. And Dampier keeps himself. He's met in the hole, but has a first down. So the clock will stop for that. 21 seconds, one timeout. Still need a couple more yards.
The yellow clock, you can hear him. Yep. Clock, 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 clock. Spike it here.
Well, they do. They do kill it. 19 seconds left.
Yeah, you saw.
This is in that maybe a try it range.
Yeah, this is get the chunk you need here. Manage it again. At least 3 plays here if you want it. If you execute it correctly, and 2 men on the field.
Dampier has it definitely in field goal range now.
So
to his tight end for Bentley again with 14 seconds to go.
Yeah, this will be on UCLA here for they were caught subbing. Utah did not change personnel after the spike. Take a look at the all-22, and you see some extra bodies down here at the bottom. There's 2 of them that should be off the field completely, and the ball snapped. So this is a situation where talking about yardage. They won't worry about any sort of 10-second runoff situation here. It's to Utah's advantage.
Kyle Whittingham wants to know his options. Gained 7 on that play. So are you thinking about declining this?
That's what he was trying to do the math.
Defense, 12 players on the field. That penalty is declined. Second down.
That's good math. 7 is more than 5.
Yeah, I was going to say,
now it's third down.
Spiked the first play of this series. So in range to try it with 1 timeout on a field goal at the end of the half. Do they have more in it? Dampier survey. Running out of time to the sideline, complete. First down to Larry Simmons with 5 seconds left, so likely a field goal ahead.
Possibly an illegal touching. Maybe ran out the help. The hat is off of the field judge here. Let's see if he runs out on his own. Yes, he does.
Illegal touching.
He can't be the first
Offense
one.
Number 12. This player went out of bounds. Came back in, was the first to touch the pass. Lost it out at the previous spot. 4th down.
You hear Mike McCabe making that announcement. That's exactly what it was. You can't run out on your own without being forced out. You'll be the first one to touch it. Well explained. Now at least we get to open up that leg, I guess.
Dylan Curtis is the guy we've talked about setting up this drive that will make his first career field goal attempt at the end of the half from 54 yards. He made a couple from 60 in preseason camp, and Kyle Whittingham said there was plenty of space between where that ball landed and the uprights.
Pre-game warm-up, man, he was stroking these.
He did miss an extra point earlier. First attempt of his college career. Curtis lets it fly, and Curtis as advertised. No problem for the true freshman kicker. Pure from 54 to end the half for Utah. With you.
And then just tooling with some of these defensive players. Lander Barton on the play action pass corner route for the touchdown.
So second half begins with UCLA touching the ball. And Nico Iamaleava has seen Devin Dampier march his team right down every time they've touched it. Those couple of deep ball misses that you mentioned have Iamaleava under 100 yards. 6 of 11, modest start to his Bruins career.
And then on the other side of it, Devin Dampier has done a great job. 7 of 8 on 3rd down. That's just a difference of how they've operated on 1st and 10, 2nd and manageable. A lot more opportunities, but a lot of ball left here for young Nico.
UCLA 1st and 2nd down is going to be massive in the second half because they were 3rd and long. Felt like all first half. As Iamaleava and UCLA touch it for the first time in half number 2. And he floats it over the top. Good touch to Quasi Gilmer. And there's Gilmer for the first time tonight, starting the second half of the first down.
And on cue, just floats it decisively over the top of Jonathan Hall. You'll see 7 right there trying to get underneath it. And a great layered ball to Quasi Gilmore. That's the drop back passer. In that case, the play action passer we've seen.
14 yards on the first play of the half for Iamaleava to Gilmer. And after he floated one over the backers, he leaps over the backers. Gets the edge for a first down.
Productive run, decisive run. Nice job by Nico right here. He's going to read this edge. The exact same play that we've seen Devin Dampier have success with. Now he's got to finish downfield, the tight end. If Gilmer 3 finishes his guy, he's still running.
14 through the air, 16 on the ground for Nico Iamaleava to start this half. And into plus territory.
A full house-ish.
Play fake again. It's Gilmer again. Just like the first play of the half. Play fake. Gilmer, first down.
Great opening sequence right here. If your offensive coordinator, Tito Sunseri and Nico Iamaleava. RPO right there. The slant route. Well placed right in his frame. He could protect himself from Teo Johnson.
The formation was kind of Harbaugh 49ers-esque. Frank Gore and those guys bringing it full house. 3 plays, 3 first downs. Play fake again. Pressure from the backside. And off target. He missed Matthews like he did a few times in the half, and he got planted.
Yeah, he took a shot. You can see his offensive line there helping him up there. Cortland Ford helping him out. We'll see the shot. Definitely has Mikey Matthews. And he'll say he should finish that throw, and he probably should. Fully legal hit there. That's again just the one where that's the throw he can make in his sleep. Bruin fans want to see it.
That's big tonight. Iamaleava did not handle pressure well last year at Tennessee, meaning the blitz. He gets this one out quickly before any blitz can come close to touching him, and it's 3rd down.
And that just looks like a 100-mile-an-hour fastball to the wide field outcut, like he's laying it up in Poly Pavilion, just yawning.
Easy.
Yeah.
Easy. At least it appeared that way. But here we go. 3rd down and in that short to medium range. This is where UCLA was not.
Yeah, they're going to be in 4-down territory here. So work your RPOs or your 3rd and medium pass game. Right now he's feeling the RPO game a little bit. That's a straight drop.
Here's the heat again. It's picked up and incomplete on the back hip of Gilmer. He didn't lead him. And it's 4th down.
Yeah, that's the one, and they are going to kick, which I totally get that too. Just trying to get back on the board. And this is one where Gilmer's going, man, I got to make this catch, which I think he does. That's right.
Yeah.
Right in the wickets. That hits him right in the 3. Nico frustrated.
Want to lead him a little more, right? But still catch him.
Yeah, I mean, that's a catchable ball. Gilmer can make that play all day long.
And Mateen Begani hit from 57 last year, so well within his range from 46. As UCLA looks for points out of the half, Begani nails it. First 3 plays went for first downs. Then Utah's defense stands up for
building drive for this sideline for that offensive unit. See if the defense can respond see what their adjustments are for Devin Dampier.
Utah had trouble in this spot in the first half. Smith-Snowden hangs on to the ball this time, but he's stopped shy of the 20. So Devin Dampier and that unstoppable Utah offense in the first half. 4 drives, 4 scores. And he's on his way to what he calls a double-double. 100 on the ground, 100 through the air.
Yeah, he's done it many times. This guy is so impressive, and to this point has done a great job of taking care of the football. Really hasn't put it at risk at all.
I did short UCLA 1 stop, by the way. There was 1 punt from Utah.
That's right.
So 4 of 5 scoring in the first half. First drive of the second half, run on the edge and a flag out behind the play before Wayshawn Parker hit the sideline.
So often when that ball gets bounced, front side of the offensive line ended up
Holding. Offense number 71. 10-yard penalty. Replay, first down.
Caleb Lomu, the other talented tackle, uber talented tackle. You see number 1 Wayshawn Parker start and then bounce it outside. He's not anticipating that ball going outside and hooks Busick.
Been a clean game penalty-wise.
Yeah.
It's just the second penalty. And the first one also came on the opening drive of the first half for Utah. And they keep it on the ground and get most of the penalty yardage back with Parker. Give him 7. A lot of wonder, how would the new marriage of offensive coordinator and quarterback look? And Utah with Jason Beck coming over from New Mexico with Devin Dampier, his quarterback. Good start. Pressure backside. Chisholm couldn't get home. He spins out. This is what he does. He demoralizes the pass rush, and UCLA ends up edging him out. 10 yards shy of the first down. Here comes third down.
This is what this guy does everywhere. You see the free hitter coming off the edge, Chisholm. 32, great design by Ikaika Malloy to have a free hitter in that empty protection. And Dampier says, ole.
7 of 8 on third downs. Utah with their first of the second half. Out to Snowden. Race to the sticks. He's out of the tackle for a first down. 8 of 9 for Utah. Drive keeps rolling. Their first touch of the half.
Nice design. Basically a man beater type of situation, and or almost like a clear out underneath screen. You'll see Snowden coming from the backfield, avoiding the booty of Spencer Fano, getting in space and converting.
They've lined Snowden up a bunch of different spots tonight. And the starting defensive back has the touchdown, several catches. He's got the ball in his hands again, with the line just mauling guys to get him out to the edge. Give him 8 more.
Great little gadget action that time by Snowden, too. A well-deserved breather. A little squeeze of water. 15 on offense, 13 on defense. I'd be huffing and puffing, too. And he's not even at altitude.
Touching it 7 times, too. They've given him the ball half his snaps on offense. A long throw. It's short, but dug out of there by Ryan Davis. And another first down.
And he's not just running go routes. You know what I mean? He's running intricate things. That little slider route that he ran. The cell comeback screen, get the first down. They're doing a ton of stuff with him. Not typical.
I wonder what Snowden's mileage is tonight. Another one underneath from the turn up field leads to Davis. Down on one knee, past midfield, 2nd and 4.
Dampier's going to his old New Mexico teammates saying, man, I'll keep that up. Keep him running right there, have space, but good chemistry on kind of 2 little option routes back to back.
As you'd expect, that's been the quickest connection coming to Utah. Those 2 guys working together and combining for over 750 yards last year at New Mexico. And hooking up twice in a row. Dampier and Davis. We're back to the ground with Rodgers. Burrows ahead right to the sticks. And he's got a first down.
Good execution that time by Devin Dampier. Little zone read. Giving it. Offensive coordinator Jason Beck loving it. Another first down, and this is where this guy can just have a little voodoo. Play action pass, all the tricks.
Jason Beck, part of that list, the quartet that came over from New Mexico. And all those guys getting a touch on this drive. This is out to Buchanan outside, and there are Bruins all over him. Forward progress did stop after 3 yards.
That's such a big deal. You know, the message and the system, you know, the verbiage, all the things that go into putting an offense together. They got little satellite, you know, units that a lot of teams don't. You know, the other side, Iamaleava on his own with a new coordinator, not a couple partners that he played with, and his OC, but probably take a little bit longer to gel.
Patient start of the run for Parker. Powerful finish to the run for Parker. And it's 3rd down and short like it's been most of the night for Utah because of that effort.
Free play here because they're going to go for it on 4th down at this spot. Look at the big, thick, physical Wayshawn Parker, Bay Area native, Washington State, now in Salt Lake.
Utah just picked up a 3rd and 9 earlier on this drive as Kyle Whittingham's offense is dominated on 3rd down tonight. Another short one. And ahead for Rodgers. And this has been a showcase of all those New Mexico transfers with Davis, Rodgers, and Dampier, plus their play caller.
Yeah, just massive push, little belly. And they're going to get in the same formation here. Be ready for a play action home run off this at some point. And they're going to keep pounding it for sure.
And Chisholm shot the gap. 2-yard gain. The offense for Utah, yes, they have these 3 guys on their offense, including Rodgers, Dampier, and Davis, that were together. But the language is simple. It's a lot of sign language. And even the stuff that is communicated verbally is very concise.
Yep, very concise. And they've run these plays before. It's, you know, it's not a foreign concept to run a zone read in the system. It's just different. It's different. And again, a healthy quarterback doing these things is the difference.
And Snowden got a quick break, and he's set down with a 3rd and 2 coming up after that backside pressure was picked up again.
Former offensive coordinator Andy Ledwig with a healthy quarterback was a smart Andy Ledwig, right? Something about those players. Smith stood in shock that he didn't increase that.
We've seen him move guys, Jason Beck move guys all around tonight. Andrews was just in the backfield. Now he's out at tight end. And a fake to Snowden. Dampier dances and lowers his head. Big collision for a 1st down.
5'11", 210, and that's a gift of a 5'11", probably 5'10" at most. But man, you heard that collision, getting vertical, earning that 1st down.
This is a time-chewing drive and a productive one. 13 plays, 72 yards. And Utah closing in on 200 yards on the ground against the UCLA defense 2 years in a row that's been top 10 in the country in stopping the run. You know, they do stop the run on 1st down inside the red zone.
Nice play. Anthony Jones is the read there for Dampier. Probably hammered Dampier in this area. When it down, get the ball, trying to, again, pound it and set up all the other action off of it. Jones squeezes it down. And a very abnormal 1-yard gain that time for Utah.
Quick set, quick pop. It's caught. Pyle moves ahead, close to the 1st down for Bentley. And tight ends involved again. And it's 3rd down and short.
Down Bentley's a load. 6'4", 260. I think Devin Dampier, that was a little jump pass right there. Get up. Over the top, the outstretched hand of that D-lineman.
Behind all that poundage, another 1st down. And 1st and goal for Nikari Rodgers and Utah.
John Vaughn's the leader of this defense. The calming presence. You can see him just frustrated, right? That the inability to stop this run. These guys will compete. They will build this defense. They will build this cohesion. And they're still scratching and clawing to knock this thing out inside the 5.
Well, Vaughn's in the defense for UCLA. They've been on the field for 15 plays as Rogers ducks ahead. And Utah knocking on the door of a 3-score lead again.
Rashawn Parker, 205. Nakari Rogers, 210. Dampier, 210. These aren't little dudes cramming up in there. Physical finishers. A lot of hands on hips on this defense for UCLA.
Look at the time that's been consumed.
It's demoralizing.
It'll be 9 minutes by the time this ball is snapped. And the run is stopped. So UCLA hoping to come up with a stand on the goal line. It was John Vaughn's. And there may be one more play away from forcing the field goal.
Just as last year, they never quit. They're not quitting. 10 minutes, 11 minutes into this drive. You see 6 shed it, shoot the gap. That's just a great competitive huffing and puffing dude right there. One of 3 St. John Bosco linebackers for this Bruin program.
On the field for 18 plays in a row, Vaughns. Here's the 19th. On the move, Dampier, his receiver fell down. Larry Simmons was breaking open, and now a decision. Utah's own short yardage all night. Do they go again?
The O-line saying, let's go. Let's go. Of course they are. Kyle Winningham will have the final word. Just loses his footing. Larry Simmons, Devin Dampier knows Larry Simmons had a chance. Had to make sure he stayed in bounds. He was the one that had the illegal touch earlier. And they're going for it.
Still a 2-score game if you kick a field goal. Might as well.
Yeah.
Right? 4th and goal from the 2. Behind his tight ends, Dampier is in. Paying off the 4th down decision. 3-score lead for the Utes.
And when you got this dude, you load it up. Extra alignment, tackle over situation. Keith Olsen, 74. 73, Tanoa Togiai. Dampier to the house.
A drive that lasted all week. 20 plays. 9 minutes, 44 seconds off the clock. Utah has found themselves their next quarterback. Devin Dampier leading a 20-point surge for the Utes. Sponsored by AT&T Business. Reliability you can count on. Snowden, good name if you're a spy, a Twilight character, or a two-way player apparently for Utah.
Yeah, he has been awesome. And again, it's not just been vertical stuff. Option routes, specialty plays, the goal line stuff. And a cool name. Great name, as you said. Not hyphenated. It's not something Smith known. It's Smith Snowden. And he's been awesome.
Well, he's been on the field both ways tonight and showed up on defense a bunch too. And this drive for UCLA begins on the ground. So 9 years ago this week was the Josh Rosen comeback against Texas A&M for UCLA. That was 44-10 with 4 minutes left in the third quarter. UCLA trying to drum up some memories of that.
Yes. See, our Bruin cup is half full right there.
And 8 yards for Thomas on the first play of this drive. And keep it with Thomas, who is spun down. Didn't get anything. And Lance Holtzclaw brings up third down.
Job changing up the look here. You'll see 15 playing with the edge. Or sorry, just coming across the face of the defender, beating the offensive tackle. You thought it was the backside end. That was the front side end.
Utah's own third down both ways tonight. 11 of 13 on offense. They've held UCLA 2 of 8 on defense. Middle pressure picked up, and Gilmer has it buzzed past his hands. 4th down on the incomplete throw from Iamaleava.
Staying on the field, had a chance. The wheel route to Anthony Woods on a linebacker came off of it and behind Gilmer. That previous play, Morgan Scally, defensive coordinator, just kind of toying with Iamaleava on that zone read, messing with the front side, giving him a give read, putting him in a bind.
4th down and 2. UCLA chasing 20 points. Iamaleava scanning, and he does it himself. Around the corner for a first down.
Great reaction by Nico. Sam Yoon just gets kind of collapsed into the pocket. You'll see the center as the pressure comes from the touchdown scoring Lander Barton right in his lap. Job escaping and getting north.
So the drive drive moves on for UCLA, who got 3 points their first drive of the half before Utah took almost 10 minutes off the clock with a touchdown drive. On the move again. Iamaleava takes some contact before getting out of bounds. Give him 4 on that run.
Really good reaction right there as well. Pressure from the field. UCLA picked it up beautifully. Nico to the sideline. Protect yourself. Good effort, all legal by Cash Dillon. Doesn't feel good, but it's legal.
And a half a minute to go in the 3rd. Play fake and into traffic in between 2 guys. Matthews running to the corner, also had an inbreaker that he missed on.
Yeah, almost like the very first play of the game. That tip at the line of scrimmage, uncharacteristic of a 6'6" high releaser. It's happened a couple times tonight. That's just good design, good scouting from defensive coordinator Morgan Scally. And another 3rd and 7.
How do you play this 3rd and 6 now? Two to get this. They just went for it on 4th.
Yeah, just went for it on 4th. So he's determined to, you know, when they're down 3 scores, got to go here. So just playing your 3rd and medium stuff.
Pressure at his feet, and down he goes. The heat for Utah gets there again with Carson Kaufusi this time.
And you can't do that. Can't take the sack. Hiccup had a couple of others, but wanted to come back. That, you know, the crowd, the fans there are awesome. Great passion. You can see that in the Rose Bowl tonight.
They're hoping to
travel well.
They do. They are hoping to make this full circle. This was the spot at the Rose Bowl 2 years ago where
headed monster situation from Jason Beck and company with this O-line, Dampier, and a bunch of skill guys, both offensive players and defensive players, are making a ton of plays.
And Jason Beck in his first game calling plays at Utah. Ikaika Malloy, his first year as the UCLA defensive coordinator was last year, taking over for Danton Lynn. And they had a good second half defensively, second half of the year defensively at UCLA. Cut a touchdown off their points allowed total in the second half of last year, but not a lot of answers with their reshaped defense with 4 guys to the NFL.
Yeah, they lost so much talent. Obviously, the linebacker level decimated. Jay Toria and company up front decimated. They're just trying to patchwork everything together, and this is not the O-line to patch things together against.
And all 5 starters back on the offensive line for Utah, including 2 tackles that will likely be first-round picks, with an entirely new front 7 for UCLA. That's been a tough mix tonight.
Yep. Spencer Fano right there, 55, the top-ranked tackle in the country right now by most scouts' assessment. On the other side, Caleb Lomu, top 5 for sure, and then just a bunch of competitive dudes that have played together for a ton of snaps.
Well, they have a 3rd down ahead of them, and with inside 14 minutes to go in the game. And Parker slow-played it and then bursted ahead, and he's right at the line to gain. And he's got enough. First down.
just by the nose of the ball. Parker got a vertical, just a hand aversion. Gets the edge. Good job getting north. Keanu Williams wrestles him down. That's the thing, you're so worried about Dampier, and you know, got to have rules for him, and backside and front side, and sometimes it's that hard ball right at you. You got to stop that first.
Against this offensive line that, according to Pro Football Focus, is number 2 in the country behind Alabama. And over 200 yards on the ground tonight. So for the sake of that argument, Utah and their offensive line have had the better week 1 up front from the Crimson Tide.
Yes, they have.
Alabama played at Florida State today and lost. Preseason number 8 team. Utah receiving votes. They're the 2nd team out of the top 25. And I got to think with this showing tonight, they hang on like this, they'll be ranked by next week.
Yeah, this is a top 20 team easily, if not closer inside of 15. As you said earlier, this team with a healthy quarterback is a top 15 preseason team, and they'll scratch and claw and rise up quickly.
10 more for Ryan Davis. And how about the diversity in who's touched the ball tonight? 9 different Utah players have either run with the ball, caught it, or done both.
A bunch of unbalanced formations, a bunch of shift motions, a bunch of empty.
Back-to-back quick hitters, and their freshman tight end, who they are so high on, J.J. Buchanan. He's a hybrid tight end, wide receiver type. Utah fans are going to get to know him a lot better soon.
Yeah, from the Vegas area. Talk about catching a ball on your back hip. Dude right there, right on the back hip. Help your quarterback out. Big target. A 40-inch vertical leap, just like Connor Onion.
Come on now.
39 now.
Half of that. Yeah, that's NBA level vertical. 40 inches for Buchanan. Rodgers, a short run. 3 targets, 3 catches tonight for Buchanan in his college and Utah debut.
Ton of personnel groups. Certainly the defensive players, as they shuttle on a couple of those guys right now. They've gone big right here. Keith Olson, 74s, an extra offensive lineman coming in the game. Just your garden variety, 315-pound tight end, essentially right there.
Dampier steps up, eludes, lets it fly, open man, Merriweather swings his way inside the 5. All the guys that have touched it tonight, they were waiting on one of those for Merriweather. He sets up 1st and goal.
Scooter Jackson, you see, just again, stop the run, stop the run, stop the run. We got to stop the run. So everybody's eyes again in the backfield. Little double move action to the big boy.
It is likely by the end of the year that Merriweather, if he's not their top target, he's 2nd or 3rd on that list. That was his first catch tonight.
Elite football intelligence, Notre Dame and Cal, makes sense.
Utah, wide open man. Dallin Bentley in for the score. And Utah pouring it on in Pasadena.
So the action is going to go away, sell, release, run, 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 stop the run, eyes in the backfield. We're on repeat a little bit because that's hard, man. Hard sell, play action pass, dialed up to stop the run. They're going to go to 2 to make this round numbers.
They'll make up for the missed PAT on their first drive. 7 drives. 5 touchdowns, a field goal, and just 1 punt. In the debut of Devin Dampier at quarterback and Jason Beckett, offensive coordinator for the Utes. 2-point try. Take it, pitch it. And UCLA rallies up with John Vaughns to stuff it. Well, one of the few times tonight that Utah has not cashed in on short yardage. Dampier's got some wiggle, as advertised. And just like in the Mountain West, doing it in a big level game. This time to Merriweather, setting up the score.
This river.
Well, it took about half the plays of that last scoring drive when they went 20 plays, 90 yards. This one, 9 plays, 81 yards, and a little bit quicker. As Dallin Bentley caught the lob from Devin Dampier for a touchdown to extend it for Utah of 36-10. UCLA, a lot of hope built throughout the offseason because of what was coming in at quarterback, Nico Iamaleava. And he'll try to pull a real comeback out of his sleeve. Time for tonight's game summary, sponsored by Pacific Life, building confident futures. For nearly 160 years, it's been balanced, and mostly it's been impressive for Utah's offense.
It's been balanced everywhere. It's been offensive players, it's been defensive players. 220 yards on the ground, 206 through the air. They've got Parker going on the ground, Ricard Rogers going on the ground. Devin Dampier has been outstanding.
Iamaleava back out there, and he misses up top. It's been the deep balls he's missed on mostly. That one, a short one to Peterson.
Just again, you see it, man. It's just little mechanical things that lead to that man's frustration. But there is a glimmer of hope here for Bruin Nation. They're undermanned against this team, you know, across from them tonight. They're competing and they're building for the future.
Pressure, got it away. Peterson has a first down as Iamaleava took a big-time hit from Jackson Benny and still delivered.
And stood in there and threw a strike. Peterson, the same guy he missed, man, on the much easier throw up top. Here he identifies as the extra rusher, knows he has to get it out before Benny. Well done.
And it takes the short one to Woods, who sheds Benny, who is just on that blitz. And back-to-back UCLA first downs. We mentioned the Josh Rosen thing before. This is with less time than 9 years ago this week when UCLA came back, led by Josh Rosen, when it was 44-10. Getting late for Iamaleava, and the pocket collapses. Second sack tonight for John Henry Daly.
Initially a 5-man rush and another effort sack. We saw it from Fano earlier. Now it's John Henry Daly just working, twisting back inside. Just a little pick on a Cortland Ford, and Brooks finishes.
Like you said it, there are always creatures on this defense that can get after the quarterback. Guys that are long and go. Fourth sack of the night, and this one's picked off. Utah forces its first turnover, and it's an interception for Trey Reynolds. And he carries a piggyback right inside the 30. Seven snaps all of last year. He's played more than that tonight, and he got his first pick, and his teammates love it.
Just an all-out effort play, a combination action, pressure up front, and Reynolds the beneficiary. Here's the replay of the pick. There's Trey Reynolds right there. But watch John Henry Daly, little spin cycle action to get in Nico's face. Hurries up the process there on that screen. Trey Reynolds says, thank you very much.
First turnover of the night. And Utah 8 minutes away from 1-0. They give it to Andrews. They flashed into the backfield all night. And the tight end showing his skills in the run game. Not just a blocking tight end, a running tight end. First down and goal, Utah once more.
A running tight end realizing, hey man, if I'm going to get any packs or any balls in the future, all these defensive guys, I better show a little counter load situation there. Great job protecting the football, being physical, and competing for every inch.
Using that conversion, he converted from running back to tight end. And a 25-yard hit for Andrews, who brings up first and goal. And out to the edge, and shy of the line to get Rogers. Down at the 1.
At the defenders all over the map. Yeah, Keith Olsen, 74, playing a huge role on the line of scrimmage. That time, big 74 was in the backfield as a fullback. There's nothing, offensive lineman would love more than to line up in the backfield. That's elite.
Well, we talked about it before, how this offense is simple, but they've put so many different
moving parts,
different places. As Jason Beck told us, it's easy to learn, hard to decipher for the defense, and that's definitely played out in real time tonight. On second and goal, it's Rogers turning his legs, and he is in. Nakari Rogers, his first Utah touchdown, and the Utes pouring it on at the Rose Bowl.
Great design and great execution. That's about 700 pounds of human being combined between Keith Olsen and Spencer Fano right there. Smart to run behind it.
6 of 6 inside the red zone tonight. Notable for anybody, but especially for Utah, Mark. They were 10th worst in the FBS scoring in the red zone last year. Perfke's helped the economy in Pasadena. 43-10. Questions on how Utah would bounce back. How would the new marriage of offensive coordinator and quarterback go? Check.
Cordially.
Likely on their way to the top 25 when the poll comes out this week. And here's a big part of it. Tonight's Good Hands moment, sponsored by Allstate, celebrating 20 years of the Allstate Good Hands Nets program. Devin Dampier. A lot of good hands moments in this game at quarterback for Utah.
Play action, touch pass, athletic, get down, protect yourself, the power run game, and then a little spidey sense. I would go take his helmet if I was Cal. Winningham. Take the helmet, give it to the equipment guy, put him in shrink wrap. Whatever you do.
Packaging and football expertise for Mark Elfridge. And the flag is down.
Ball start. Offense number 28. 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
Okay, so obviously there's a microscope on Nico Iamaleava.
Game clock operator, please restore the game clock to 6:29.
We've highlighted some of the pressure he must be feeling. Where else do you look when you digest this tape for UCLA to move forward?
There's bright spots, for Utah. It'll be fine-tuned for the future in a much different way for UCLA. There's some encouragement. They've had the inability to be balanced. Deshaun Foster told us multiple times last year and leading up to this game how he wants to be balanced. Very difficult when you're playing, this opponent. They're hot. They're rolling with Devin Dampier. You got to almost change your game plan midstream. Obviously, did do that very well defensively. It was a struggle getting, they didn't really substitute that many people. Just a tough matchup for UCLA. The toughness, the physicality, the just all the guys that Utah brings to the table defensively presents a different picture than he's been used to.
We have done this thing called Healthy's Hot Takes. I want you to see into the future 12, 13 weeks from now. Are we talking about Utah as top 12 in the country playing for the playoff?
I think so. I think this Big 12 is so good so wide open. The width of this conference literally spans the country. The quality teams, you know, obviously Iowa State leader of the pack beating K-State, but then, you know, somebody's going to lose on these funky road trips, the late travel, things that happen in the conference. But there are so many good quarterbacks, so many good coaches in this league right now, but they'll be there at the end. It might be, you know, might be one of those 17-part tiebreakers like last year.
We saw it firsthand. 9 teams were alive on the final day of the Big 12. Ended up being Arizona State and Iowa State in the championship game. The 4-way tie for first, and it is the most competitive power conference in the country, and expected to be that way again. We're out for 30. Devin Dampier's helmet has been locked away for the night. Bird Ficklin in the game at quarterback. A freshman taking his first college snap and giving it on the edge. There's a battle for the second quarterback spot. Isaac Wilson ended up winning it, but Bird Ficklin, a freshman, took him right to the end of camp.
The other thing, going back to what we're talking about, the race in the Big 12, their neighbors to the south in blue will not be very excited about Devin Dampier and his execution tonight.
Especially after they lost their quarterback. Yeah. Jake Retzlaff, BYU's quarterback, was set to be suspended 7 games, so he hit the transfer portal at BYU. He won his first game at Tulane today. And Utah definitely has the conference's and the country's attention with this result. Wide open in the big, going on the longest losing streak in Kyle Whittingham's time as the head coach, but they look like they're ready to be back in a big way. Here's Ficklin, who has a similar skill set as Dampier, and he keeps that pile driving for the burst. A little power for the backup Ficklin.
Great job with that ball security as it gets in traffic. UCLA competing, still trying to scratch a clock, get it out.
Well, we saw this combo of offensive coordinator and quarterback that played most of this game. Jason Beck and Devin Dampier, they put a couple of 50 pieces up there last year at New Mexico. So this is more of the same, translating to the upper level of college football. Ficklin out to the corner again, and he is set down. Robert Stafford had the tackle, and that'll bring us close to the 2-minute timeout.
Yeah, they should wind it and take it to, yep.
So 2 minutes standing between Utah and 1 and 0. 6 different guys scored touchdowns. And the number 2 is in there. And we've seen linebackers and defensive backs score touchdowns as well. Lander, Barton, Smith, Snowden. Linebacker, defensive back. How about that note at the bottom? 2 players to score a touchdown, 10+ defensive snaps. UCLA did that.
Oh, I remember those dudes.
Miles Jack and Kenny Clark, the recently traded Kenny Clark.
2 freaks. 2 absolute freaks. Played against those guys a few times. Is that the 2 Utes? Is that the 2 Utes right there?
Yeah.
2 Utes?
Third down and 1 for Ficklin in Utah, and another first down. And UCLA not stopping it with those 3 timeouts, and Utah and those 2 Utes on the way to 1-0.
Yeah, just trying to put a little red bow tie on things. As Kyle Whittingham, they'll grind this down under 40, snap it one more time, and that'll be the ball game. And as we said, a lot of work on this UCLA sideline to just continue to find an identity with their new quarterback in the system. And Sean Foss will go back to work tomorrow immediately. Got some winnable games coming up on paper, but they just got to execute and finish. And Utah has a great schedule ahead, and the funnest kind of adjustments and corrections are victorious.
They have done that, answered a lot of the questions that their fans had about what would Kyle Whittingham's team be like in year 21. Their first win in Pasadena since 2018.